today I have an industrial acquisitions model from Top Shelf Models that I'll be using to demonstrate operating expenses. So operating expenses are expenses that are related to a company's normal business operations. They are the day-to-day costs that allow the business to function. And in real estate, these include personal and real estate taxes, management fees, property insurance, repair fees, utilities, and other cash expenditures required to operate the property. In addition to this, operating expenses are an important part of the calculations used to derive net operating income, or NOI. And NOI is used to analyze the profitability of these income generating real estate investments. So as we can see here, we see that we have rent revenue or gross rental revenue after all of these additions. And if we subtract general vacancy and credit and collection loss, we have effective gross income. And then comes the operating expenses, which are subtracted to derive net operating income. So in addition to this, we will subtract non-operating expenses and capital expenditures to eventually derive unlevered operating cash flows. So with that said, let's talk about the difference between capital expense and operating expense. So unlike operating expenses, capital expenses are expenses incurred for benefiting the future. For example, a business could use this additional capital to buy new assets or fix and improve existing assets. So in real estate, this could mean acquiring, repairing, and upgrading a piece of property. So for example, we see here under capital expenditures, we have tenant improvements, leasing commissions, other leasing costs, and additional capital expenditures. And for operating expenses, we don't have individual expenses listed out here, but if we go to the August cash flow section, we can see that there's insurance, management fees, property taxes, repairs and maintenance, security, snow removal, etc. So let's talk about how operating expenses are used in real estate modeling. So one of the few places that you will see operating expenses listed is in the cash flow section. So it could be either in the annual cash flow section or the monthly cash flow section. And we also saw it in the August cash flow section right here. But if we go to the annual cash flow sections, like I mentioned, we have the total operating expenses that we just list right here on a year-to-year basis, all the way up to the sale date, which looks like it is 2024. And then we can go to the monthly cash flow section here and see similar expenses, but on a month-to-month basis. And it is actually a pretty big part of the investor summary right here. We see total operating expenses, and it's just listed to demonstrate the net operating income. So in conclusion, operating expenses are incurred through the day-to-day costs required to operate and maintain a property. So AKA normal business functions, like I mentioned earlier. These expenses do not factor in any sort of improvements or additional purchases, as that is listed under capital expenditures. And finally, most commonly, these include taxes, insurance, and maintenance fees.